Sagittarius, what is going on with you? Come on in, have a seat, make yourself comfortable. My name's Alan from UnknownTruthTarot.com. Welcome back to another Sagittarius love reading. Now, if this is your first time here and you have questions that you want answered about your romantic love life or your relationship, then start now by subscribing and clicking on that little bell icon so you always get notified anytime I post a new Sagittarius tarot reading for you. Now let's get on with this Sagittarius May 2023 love reading, because today we are going to take a look at the status of the love connection between you and your romantic person of interest. I'm going to do that by getting one card to represent the mutual point of interest between the two of you here in May 2023. Then I'm going to get 3 cards for you, Sagittarius, 3 cards for your person, and then I'm going to clarify everything with the second deck, just to make sure we can get down to the bottom of the unknown truth about what's really going on in this love connection of yours. Now let's get this sucker started here, and let's get one card for what is the mutual point of interest between Sagittarius and their romantic person of interest here in May 2023. Okay, well, we'll take you. Nice. Let's get 3 cards for you, Sagittarius. What's going on with Sagittarius as it relates to their romantic person of interest and the connection between them here in May 2023. Oh, we got a lot going on here. These cards are all trying to get away from me all at once. Let's get one more for what's going on with Sagittarius. Thank you. Let's see what we have. All 3 major arcana cards. A lot of powerful energy affecting you here. What's going on with Sagittarius' romantic person of interest as it relates to Sagittarius and the connection between them here in May 2023. Thank you. Well, 2 out of 3 of your person's cards are also major arcana, and we got a lot going on here. On the bottom of the deck, the overall energy of this reading is the 3 of Pentacles. Now, this is Capricorn energy. The 3 of Pentacles is teamwork, collaboration, working together as equals to build something of value. Typically, what you would be working together to build in this kind of an energy is the 10 of Pentacles, which would be like maximum stability and abundance and prosperity, or the combining together of 2 people or 2 families and all their assets and resources into one to build that, to build a life together, so to speak. That's typically what you would be working together as equals to build when you're in the 3 of Pentacles energy. The weird thing about this deck is, like in a normal standard Rider-Waite tarot deck like I'm using to clarify with, it shows people on the card actually working together. And here in this deck, there's only one person on the card not working together with anyone. They're working by themselves. So most of the time for me, in this deck, this card is representing that there is this concept of we're supposed to be working together as equals to build something, but one person is showing up and the other person's not. So there's like one person doing all the work of what 2 people are supposed to be doing. I have the 2 of Pentacles right under that. So we're going backwards here in energy. This is like descending. This is regression and not progress here. So the 2 of Pentacles is more Capricorn energy. This is an energy of balance, but it's more about trying to maintain your balance or get your balance back once your balance has been thrown off. It's like a 1 foot in, 1 foot out kind of an energy. It's a 2, and in tarot, 2s are about choices or decisions. So this is some choice in the physical world where you've got this weighing of the options in front of you here, looking at pros and cons, asking questions like, do I or don't I? Should I or shouldn't I? On the very negative end of this card, it can represent a person who's juggling more than one person, like someone juggling 2 different people. This could just be some sort of a decision here. We've got this idea of like working together as equals, but it doesn't feel very equal. And now we've got this weighing of options underneath that. Could be what we're weighing the options are is the World. This is the final card of the major arcana. This is a completion card. So this card represents the ending of one cycle and at the same time the beginning of the next cycle here. So this is something coming to an end and something new starting up all at the same time here. This could be a case of like, hey, we're not necessarily working together as equals like we should. It's got me off balance, and now I'm trying to decide, do I or don't I end this cycle and start a different cycle? Or can we end the cycle of the way that it has been here, where I'm working by myself, and start a new cycle where we're kind of trying to get our balance back here? that's the overall gist of what it looks like this reading is going to talk to me about. We'll probably have to come back to that more as we go along. This mutual point of interest is shared energy that affects both of you in some way here in May 2023. It doesn't always affect you both exactly the same way. Sometimes it's a case of your person has did this and now you're feeling the ramifications of it, or they've said or done something and now you're feeling or acting this particular way, or vice versa even. Sometimes it's legitimately some external thing that is affecting you both here in May 2023, but your mutual point of interest is the Ten of Cups. Not such a bad card to get here. This is Pisces energy. This is most people's goal in terms of love and relationships. This is that happy fairy tale ending that we all want, that happy fairy tale love connection that we all dream about, like my happily ever after. This is two people who are fully emotionally happy and content in and of themselves, having come together into union and having that happy fairy tale romance that we all dream about, like being fully happy, fully content, and fully in love. Now, the negative aspect of this card, because all these cards have positive and negative components to them, the negative aspect of this card can be that fairy tale component here, because we all want that so badly that a lot of us will delude ourselves. We'll convince ourselves that this relationship I'm in is this Ten of Cups happily ever after type of a relationship simply because we want that so badly. And that'll cause us sometimes to sweep some things under the rug and pretend like we didn't see something, or pretend like something's not happening that actually is. We'll ignore a red flag. So it can definitely have negative aspects to it, but it's not necessarily feeling so negative yet. Let's clarify it and see what else we can find out. Tell me more about this Ten of Cups, please. Why is that the mutual point of interest between Sagittarius and their romantic person of interest here in May 2023? Well, let me double check this and make sure nothing else flipped. I'm getting the very strong sensation that there is a lot going on. I felt that when I was shuffling to get the cards out of this main deck. I felt it again when I was shuffling to get your energy. Felt it again on theirs. Felt it again right here. There's definitely a lot going on. On the bottom of the deck, King of Cups. So I'm clarifying the Ten of Cups. Get the King of Cups. This is either Pisces or Scorpio energy. I feel like I've said Pisces quite a bit already. I've said Capricorn quite a bit already. I'll just say this now. This is a general collective reading, so it's going to be almost impossible for me to pin down exactly who you are dealing with specifically, because I'm not tapping into your energy as an individual person the same way I would if I were doing a personal reading for you, just you and I together. I'm tapping into a collective energy, like literally thousands and thousands of Sagittarius people. So again, it's going to be hard to tell exactly who you are dealing with. I'm going to call out all the signs as they stick out to me, just in case those have any meaning to you. But this is either Scorpio or Pisces energy. This is someone who has a lot of love and emotions for you, but they don't necessarily outwardly express that. The King of Cups does not wear his heart on his sleeve. He doesn't publicly broadcast how he feels about things. Very in touch with his intuition and his emotions, just doesn't always broadcast that. So this could be the kind of person that's madly and deeply in love with you, and you would never know because they don't say it, they don't show it, they don't express that. Likewise, this could be someone who's got all this rough, choppy waters around them. In other words, meaning that their emotions are all rough and choppy. They're turbulent. They're in some like emotional turmoil. And you would never know that either because they don't publicly broadcast that either. It typically means that there is a lot of love and emotions between the two of you. It's just not being fully expressed for some reason. Yeah, I have the Nine of Wands right under that, Sagittarius energy. This is a card of being walled off and defensive about something. It's also a card of healing, though. This is the wounded warrior, and he's been hurt. He's got a bandage on his head. He's been hurt, and that's the reason why he's built this wall around himself. It's like a way to protect himself because he doesn't want to be hurt anymore. He doesn't want to get hurt again. He's trying to heal so he can get his energy right and take the next step in his journey. So this is usually someone having been hurt here, and their defense mechanisms have come up as a way to protect himself. It sometimes can just represent that there is a wall in the way here. We've got someone with a lot of emotions that's not necessarily expressing it, possibly someone who's in emotional turmoil and not expressing that. and they've kind of walled themselves off. It could be representing a wall between the two of you in some way. It could just be that someone is kind of walled off from this Ten of Cups idea. Could be why maybe they're not showing up as equals here, working together as equals with you. Could be that they're emotionally off balance. That's another side meaning to the Two of Pentacles here. You can see the water in the background is rough and choppy, just like the water around this King of Cups character is rough and choppy, emotionally rough and choppy. And here, this very next card down is the Six of Swords, which is Aquarius energy. And this is about moving forward into calmer waters. It's about leaving the rough, choppy waters of the past behind and moving forward away from that into the future towards something that you actually want. So at its core, this card is about moving away from some mentally and psychologically painful thing that's kind of thrown the emotions off and made everything rough and choppy in the emotional sense. It's leaving that behind and moving away from it and moving forward toward what someone actually wants. There is an implied choice that comes with this card, though, and the choice is, look, something painful has already happened in the past, and there's nothing that can be done to change that now. It's already happened. The implied choice is, what do you do about that? Like, when you move forward into the future, do you carry the burden that that painful thing has caused into the future with you and let that continue to weigh you down? Or do you move forward into the future carrying the lessons that that painful thing taught you forward with you so that you can learn from that and not repeat the same mistakes? So there's definitely some element of leaving something painful behind and moving forward. Sometimes this can be a case of leaving your person behind and moving forward into your future without them, without the burden of that coming with you. Sometimes this can be a case of like, hey, let's move forward into the future together. And let's leave all this bullshit in the past. Let's leave all this painful stuff in the past. Whatever bad thing happened between us, let's leave that in the past where it belongs. And let's move forward carrying the lessons and adjust ourselves accordingly so that we can move forward successfully. Now, when I clarify this Ten of Cups here, this happily ever after, this happy fairy tale ending, happy fairy tale love connection, I get the Two of Cups, the Tower, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Ace of Cups. So one thing I do want to say is I'm seeing a lot of cups already, which is a good sign typically in a love/relationship reading. I want to see cups for love and emotions. I don't want to see swords. And so far, the only sword I've seen is this one about leaving something painful behind and moving forward without that. So we're looking relatively good here. This Two of Cups is Cancer energy. This is a love connection, an emotional connection between two people. It's I breathe you in, you breathe me in, we're connected. But it is a two, and like I said, in tarot, twos are about choices or decisions. So it can represent a choice in this love connection, some decision in this love connection. It can even represent a decision between more than one person here. Not necessarily feeling anything like that here. I'm feeling there's some sort of pain that's happened at some point in the past, that there's this energy of moving away from that pain. Someone's probably walled off from, trying to wall themselves off from pain or from getting hurt again, having all these emotions that they aren't really talking about, probably feeling the power of this connection. There's definitely a connection here. The card that's really tripping me up is this Tower here. This is a foundation rocking event. This is a game changer. This is the collapse of some important structure in your lives here, where something that's important to you guys has collapsed. It has fallen apart and crumbled right before your eyes. Sometimes this would be the collapse of the relationship itself. Sometimes this can be the collapse of a belief system. In other words, this like mental model of the world that you guys are operating from, the way that you believe things are. Something has now happened to shatter that belief in front of you. And now it's like, well, nothing's the same as it was before this. And it's really hard to see your way moving forward from here. It could be that we've got a choice to make about this connection. And is it really the Ten of Cups that I thought it was? Because something has dramatically changed, and it's changed my beliefs about what's going on here. Got this Knight of Pentacles next, which is the slowest moving knight in the deck. This is very slow forward movement, very like monotonous, like one step at a time, almost like drip feeding something. Very, very slow forward movement. This is usually a really frustrating type of an energy. When someone's going through this energy, it's really hard to tell the difference between the Knight of Pentacles and the Hanged Man. Like the Hanged Man would be progress is completely stopped and there is no forward movement at all. And here there is forward movement. It's just so damn slow that you probably can't tell from where you sit that anything's moving. This would be almost like trying to watch a flower grow. Like you could stare at that thing all day long from the time you get up until the time you go to bed, and you're going to see no movement actually happening with the flower. However, it is growing, and if you watch it on like time-lapse footage over the course of a few days and you compress all that down, you can see the flower actually growing. It's just while you're looking at it, you can't tell. Kind of like that saying, the watched pot never boils. Another meaning to this card is it can represent a person who knows what they're supposed to do but just isn't doing it for some reason. Like he's got the Ace of Pentacles in his hand. That's the seed of abundance. He knows he has it. He's holding it in his hands. He's looking directly at it. He's aware that he has it, and he knows what he's supposed to do with the seed. He's supposed to plant it, but the fields in the background are barren. They're completely empty because he hasn't done what he knows he's supposed to do. So that, to me, this qualifies both directions there. Like knowing what I'm supposed to do and not doing it qualifies, but then also knowing what I'm not supposed to do and then doing it any damn way also qualifies as that for me. It's sitting directly beside the Tower. So it could be that we have this collapse of a belief system here, and now progress beyond that is incredibly slow, frustratingly slow. It could be that there has been a collapse in a relationship because someone knew what they were supposed to do and didn't do it, or knew what they shouldn't have done and did it anyway. I do have two cards here, this Two of Cups and the Two of Pentacles, that could be hinting at more than one person involved here in a relationship that seemed like it was this happily fairy tale ever after kind of a relationship. This Three of Pentacles is telling me that there is supposed to be this element of working together as equals, but that's not necessarily occurring. I'm hoping this World card is trying to tell me that there's an ending of a cycle of that kind of a stuff going on in the beginning of a new cycle, but I guess I didn't go far enough down because I have the Five of Pentacles right below the World. The Five of Pentacles is Taurus energy. Fives are conflict. This is an abandonment. This is being abandoned, about being cast aside, being left out in the cold. This is a breakup card here. So it could be that things got thrown off balance here. There's an ending to the cycle and the beginning of a new cycle where there has been an abandonment, where there has been a breakup. I do right below that, though, I have the Ace of Pentacles, which we alluded to here because the Knight of Pentacles is carrying that ace. This would represent a new physical, tangible, real-world opportunity presenting itself here. This is the seed of abundance. This is the seed that has the potential to turn into that Ten of Pentacles that we all want. Maximum stability, abundance, and prosperity. I've alluded to that twice, like the combining together of lives, building a life together. It's not that in and of itself. It just has the potential to go from the seed to that full-blown 10. In order to get there, though, it's going to take work. It's going to take time and effort and energy. This is an opportunity. It has to be grabbed. Something has to be done with it. Otherwise, it's just empty potential. I do have that Hanged Man card right behind that here, where progress is halted on something here. There's an opportunity here between the two of you, and progress isn't happening on it. And if it is happening on it, it's happening so damn slow that it seems like it's not happening. This almost feels like we had something going on that was relatively good, or at least there was the belief that this is probably the person for me. This is the connection that I'm supposed to be in. This is like the happy fairy tale connection I've always dreamed of, but turning out that it's not exactly the way you might have believed it was. The final card to clarify this Ten of Cups is the Ace of Cups. This is a new beginning in love and emotions. Like, that can represent a couple of things. This can represent some new beginning, as in terms of a brand new person starting up in a connection here with one of you. This could also represent trying to fill the cup back up between the two of you, like kind of start over at square one in terms of love and emotions, like start back at the beginning and fill the cup back up all over again. The clarifiers here, starting with 2 of cups and going backwards to the 1 of cups here. So again, I'm getting regressing energy here, not progress, but regression. And in the middle of all that is something coming apart and things either moving so damn slow it seems like nothing's happening, or it's coming apart because someone knew what they were supposed to do and didn't do it. Not uncommon at this stage in the reading that I don't fully understand yet exactly what's going on here. I usually don't fully comprehend this shared energy that affects you both until I get part of the way through your energy, Sagittarius, at which point I will come back to this and I'll be able to see how that applies to you. I'll come back to this again as I go through your person's energy, because then I'll be able to see how it applies to them. But that's the shared energy affecting both of you here in May 2023. Sagittarius, your energy in this connection is the Chariot, the Hierophant, and the Star. All 3 major arcanas, again, really powerful energy affecting you here. The Chariot is Cancer's major arcana card. This is the fastest moving energy in the deck. Very stark contrast between this Chariot and this Knight of Pentacles. Whenever I see something like this happening, this will usually indicate that someone is wanting something to happen at this very fast pace, and they're getting the snail's pace instead. Very frustrating type of an energy is what this feels like. Now, the Chariot, like I said, is the fastest energy in the deck most of the time. The reason I say that is because at its core, this card is about using the will to move forward past problems or challenges or obstacles that are in the way. I see an obstacle in the way here behind this King of Cups with a wall that's come up. It's about trying to overcome that kind of stuff through like sheer will alone and then move forward very fast in success and victory. The thing about it is it's about the will. There are no reins that connect the driver of the Chariot to the beasts that pull it. So he uses sheer will alone to power this thing, to steer it, to control it. And if the driver is not fully in alignment, in other words, if all pieces of himself aren't pulling in the same direction, this thing is not the fastest energy in the deck, and it's very easy for it to be every bit as stuck as this Hanged Man that we see a little bit of the way down the deck here in the overall energy. Worse than that, if the driver is not in alignment and all pieces aren't pulling the same way, that means there's multiple pieces pulling in different directions, and then that can tear the Chariot in half as it tries to move forward. So this is really an energy of trying to use the will to get past problems and stuff that's in the way. But sometimes it tells me a lot about some misalignment that's going on, either where there are pieces of you, Sagittarius, that are pulling in different directions, or you're pulling in one way and your person's pulling in a different direction, and that could be causing some sort of a problem here, like I'm seeing in the center of this energy, some sort of a problem that's causing us to go backwards here for the second time. I've got 2 to 1, and then here I've got 3 to 2. So very strong indicators that things aren't moving forward the way you want them to be. Let's clarify this Chariot. Tell me more about the Chariot. Why is that the first card in Sagittarius's energy as it relates to their person and the connection between them in May 2023? On the bottom of the deck, 5 of Wands. You just can't make this up. This is Leo energy. 5s, again, are conflicts. Wands are about passion, desire. So this is a conflict in the desires, an internal conflict where a piece of you wants one thing and another piece of you wants pretty much the opposite of that. And there's this internal struggle going on, like a battle of tug of war between what it is that you actually want, where you're pulling yourself in multiple different directions at the same time. Now, again, that could apply to you specifically, where a piece of you still wants this connection. A piece of you might want to start over at the beginning. There might be a piece of you that believes that this is the happy fairy tale love connection I've always dreamed of. And then again, there's another piece of you that believes this whole thing has come apart. This could also indicate that you are pulling in one direction in terms of what you want, and your person is pulling in a different direction in terms of what they want, and there's some internal struggle, internal conflict between the two of you here. It could be either of those two things. I have the Chariot right below that. That's the card I'm clarifying right now. And like I explained, this can be a case where there's the dark side, the shadow side pulling one way and the light side pulling a different way, and that can tear itself in half. And I've got 3 cards right here already in this part of the story talking about some misalignment here where there's this pulling in different directions at the same time. There is still an underlying energy of wanting to overcome that and get things lined back up so that they're in alignment and all pull in the same direction, trying to overcome that. Got the Page of Cups right below that, which pages are messengers, so this would be news and messages and communications about love and emotions, expressing feelings, being at the beginning stages of a love offer. This can represent an apology here. This can also just represent communications about love and emotions. I have the 3 of Swords under that. This is Libra energy of heartbreak and sadness from a third energy. Now that third energy is not always a person, and it can be, but when it is a person, it's not always a romantic third party, although it definitely can be. That third energy can be a nosy mother sticking her nose where it doesn't belong, nosy friends, nosy family members, nosy neighbors, co-workers, anybody that's not you, Sagittarius, and that's not your person, kind of sticking their nose where it doesn't belong, can qualify as that third energy. That third energy can be a lot of different stuff. It could be like geographic distance. It could be an addiction. It could be work or career getting in the way. Like literally anything we humans do enough of is eventually going to pick up its own energy, and it can become that third energy that causes a heartbreaking thing. Like watching too much Netflix can be bad for a relationship, like partying too much, going out too much, like any number of things can cause this heartbreaking scenario to happen here. But it's when it's coming right behind an energy of communications about love and emotions, like lovey-dovey messages. Something's feeling off. I've got the Star right behind that. I'm going to stop with this card because the Star is also the last card in your energy. I will tell you it is the Aquarius Major Arcana card. It's a card of healing. It's a card of hope. It's also card 17 of the Major Arcana. Card 16, the one that comes right before this, is the Tower. So you don't make it to the Star without going through a tower of some kind first, with the collapse of something or the collapse of something important in your life, whether that's a relationship or a belief system. When the Tower comes down, nothing's the same as it was the day before that, and it's really hard to see the way moving forward from there. The Star is the guiding light from the universe that shows up to light the way for you, to light that path moving forward for you so you can see how to move forward. This is literally where hope comes from. It's where healing comes from. So it's like underneath this story of an internal conflict, and I'm pulling myself in multiple directions at once, and there's this potential lovey-dovey communications that happened with some external person. There is still underneath all of that the maintaining of hope that this can be healed. There's still this desire to overcome the obstacles that are in the way between the two of you and get by all those obstacles and move forward successfully. To clarify the Chariot, I got the Ace of Wands, the 3 of Pentacles, and the Fool. The Ace of Wands is a new beginning in passion and desire, a passionate new beginning. That can represent a couple of things. Just like I said with this Ace of Cups, it could represent a whole brand new person has now shown up and there has been a passionate new beginning with them. And that could be why there's this pulling in 2 different directions going on, whether that's you have a new person or your person has a new person. It could represent that. This is the phallic symbol of the tarot deck. So it represents the male phallus, using it to be intimate, sexual energy, sex. It could be sparking up a new connection through that type of an energy. This can also represent re-sparking a connection. Just like this can represent starting over at square one in terms of love and emotions, this can be about trying to re-spark the passion in the connection, re-spark the desire between the two of you, kind of fire the connection back up. Could actually be both of those things at the same time. We've got this Chariot, we've got this internal conflict, we've got the Chariot again. Plenty of indicators that there's some pulling in different directions going on here. This could be a case where there was lovey-dovey communications, there was some passionate new beginning, there was some new beginning in love and emotions. Could be that's why the Tower is connected to the Two of Cups here. There's more than one person being involved here. It could also be, even though that has occurred, there's still underlying all of this the hope that that can be healed and that we can re-spark this connection. Could be trying to overcome the obstacles that are in the way in terms of re-sparking the connection. There's that Three of Pentacles again, Capricorn energy again. That's the overall energy of the whole reading. See what I mean? The difference here in these two cards. You can see the teamwork and the collaboration and the working together as equals taking place here. But on this card, there ain't no such thing going on. This is one person working by themselves, building something that we're supposed to be building together as a team. I've had too many references to three here, as in you're one, they're two, and there's some other person that got involved, is what it's looking like. I have the Fool next. This is the very first card of the Major Arcana, card 0. It's the very first card of the whole tarot deck. It's a new beginning in something. This is about having the blind faith to just go for something. This person doesn't need to know what all the steps are from beginning to end before they take the first step. They don't need to know what the final outcome or end result is going to be before they take the first step. This is about just having the blind faith to say, you know what, screw it, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to leap off the cliff and I'm going to worry about how to grow my wings on the way down. I'll figure this out as I move along. Now, on the negative side of this energy, it can represent someone displaying foolish behavior, someone taking unnecessary risks, or even taking risks outside of the connection here. This could be saying, hey, we've got these obstacles in the way, and there's at least a piece of me that wants to overcome these obstacles and wants to re-spark this connection and see if we can't get back to this working together as equals to build something, and I'm ready to take the leap of faith on that right now. It could just as easily be saying, hey, we're both not pulling in the same direction. I'm pulling one way, my person's pulling a different way. Them going a different way has sparked up some passionate new beginning somewhere else while we were having teamwork and building something together, which could be why I'm seeing you here working by yourself. Could be that they were juggling two people, and that's what caused the ending of one cycle and the beginning of a new cycle where there was an abandonment or a breakup of some kind because they had some physical opportunity somewhere else that showed up. Now, it's also interesting to note that I have the final card of the Major Arcana and the very first card of the Major Arcana. This does represent a complete cycle between the two of you, like the full shebang here. Going from the Fool all the way to the end to the World. And like I said, this is the ending of a cycle and at the same time starting over back at the beginning again with the Fool. I feel like this is giving me background information on how we got to where we currently are. This is looking like there is definitely at least a piece of you that's wanting to overcome this and re-spark this and get back to the teamwork, and you're ready to take the leap of faith on doing that. I have the Hierophant as your central energy here for May 2023, Sagittarius. This is the Taurus Major Arcana card. This is a card of commitment. It's about taking things to the next level. It's about being in a committed relationship. A lot of times this will be a marriage card. If it's not marriage or engagement, this would be signifying that you were in a very deep, committed relationship here. Tell me more about the Hierophant, please. Why is the Hierophant here? Bottom of the deck, King of Cups. seen this already on the bottom of the deck. This is Scorpio or Pisces energy. This is telling me that you have a lot of love and emotions for your person. They probably have a lot of love and emotions for you. Not necessarily being expressed right now, though. Doesn't wear their heart on their sleeve here. There's some rough, choppy waters around the King of Cups. Just not really being talked about is what it feels like. Have the Empress right under that. This is the mother of the tarot deck. She's perpetually pregnant, so she's always giving birth to something. So she represents the birth of something new here. So this is looking like in a commitment, your person wasn't expressing themselves, probably like not fully emotionally involved here, and then they birthed something new. Now this could also be indicating that you feel the level of commitment, you have these emotions for your person, and you're ready to rebirth the connection. It could be either of those, it could be both at the same time. You know, I've got the Queen of Cups next. These two are counterparts here. This is like power couple. This is like emotional counterparts here. A lot of love and emotions here. Very deep and powerful emotional connection here. Probably an intuitive connection, even possibly a spiritual feeling type of a connection here. But there is another energy in between the two of them that's representing the birth of something new. I've got a new cup of love here. I've got a new beginning in passion and desire here. If I go far enough down into this story, I have an abandonment, a breakup because of another ace here, a new physical opportunity being presented, and that physical opportunity leading to the brakes being slammed on and progress stopping. This could mean two things here. This could mean, again, that there's this desire between the two of you having been separated, that I want to rebirth this connection. It could also be that one of you birthed a new connection, and that has now shown up in between the two of you. It's shown up as an obstacle in the way between the two of you. I do have that energy here of a tower happening from someone who knew what they were supposed to do but didn't do it. When I clarify the Hierophant, I get the 10 of Pentacles, the 3 of Cups, and Temperance. 10 of Pentacles. We've alluded to it a few times here. That's what you're working together as equals to build in this 3 of Pentacles. Maximum stability, abundance, prosperity, the combining together of lives. Like this would be living together, building a life together, building your worlds around each other. A lot of times when I get this card, it will represent people that are married or that are living together or that are going down the path toward those things. I'm clarifying the Hierophant, a marriage card. It wouldn't surprise me one bit if you guys were married, or at the very least living together. Right beside that 10 of Pentacles, I've got the Ace of Pentacles. So either trying to re-spark this whole concept of us combining our lives together, or during a time when there was a commitment, when you were building your lives together, there was a passionate new beginning that took place. Next, I've got the 3 of Cups, which kind of further supports that. This is Cancer energy. This has two very distinct meanings. Meaning number one is it's like reconciliation type of an energy, like being reunited and celebrating. But meaning number two is a third-party love connection, because there are 3 cups of love in the picture here. I've got what looks like a choice between more than one person. I've got a new cup of love showing up. Like this is exactly how you get to the 3 of Cups. Now, the fact that there has been a collapse between the two of you, that there's this energy of trying to overcome obstacles, this could be, hey, I feel this commitment, I feel this combined together in the physical world aspect of it. I'm trying to get back to being reunited with this person, getting back to the teamwork and working together as equals to build something. This could just as easily be saying during a time when we had a commitment and we were probably combining our lives together and we were working together as equals to build that, this 3rd cup showed up. Next, I have Temperance as the final clarifier for the Hierophant. This is the Sagittarius Major Arcana card. This is a card of patience. It's about blending two things together in order to create something new. But it's not being in a hurry to do that. It's not like, let's take these two buckets of stuff and dump it all together all at once. It's like, let's do it a little bit at a time and then take a step back and look at the big picture to see how is all this working out, and then come back in and blend a little more together and make some fine-tuning type adjustments here. This can also represent reconciliation. I do have two cards in a row here that can represent reconciliation. In tarot, water and cups represent love and emotion. And here the water, the love, has been separated into two different cups. And this angel is recombining it back together, recombining the love, which again is what I kind of alluded to here. This can represent recombining everything back into one cup of love in terms of starting back over at square one in terms of love and emotions. Got an energy of the Fool right next to that. So this is either about being patient with someone who's displaying foolish behavior and taking unnecessary risks, or this is about, I'm ready to take the leap of faith and reconcile this situation with it. We could even be saying, hey, they took risks outside of the connection, and there's still this energy of like, there's enough of a commitment here for me that I'm willing to try and put it back together, and I'm willing to be patient with this Fool. Final card in your energy, Sagittarius, is the Star. Again, we already saw that. This is the Aquarius Major Arcana card. It's a card of healing, a card of hope. In a love reading, this can indicate that you believe this person is the one for you. It's also the card that comes after the Tower, like I said, so you don't make it here without a Tower happening. Clearly, the Tower has happened. It's showing up in the energy that's affecting you both. This is where hope comes from. It's having the hope that this can be overcome, that this can be healed, that we can be recombined back together again, that we can get this commitment back, that we can, having the hope we can overcome these obstacles. Tell me about the Star, please. Why is the Star here as the final card for Sagittarius in this connection, May 2023? The bottom of the deck, Five of Wands. Again, Leo energy, second time we've seen this. I saw it when I clarified the Chariot. This is an internal conflict in your desires, where a piece of you wants one thing and another piece of you wants something different. This could represent that on Monday you have the hope that this can be healed, but by Wednesday or Friday it's like, I don't have the hope this can be healed anymore. It could mean that I have the hope we can heal it, but then later in the week I don't want to heal it anymore. It can be either of those two things. It could even be talking about having the hope that we can heal this internal conflict between us, where I'm pulling one way and you're pulling a different way, and having the hope that can be healed. Could also be that there's some sort of an internal conflict that you're feeling about who's the one for you, or your person is having an internal conflict about who's the one for them, because I have this Page of Cups right behind it. News, messages, communications about love and emotion. Lovey-dovey messages and communicating happening here. Could also be an apology. Notice there are some rough, choppy waters in the background here. And then there's the Chariot again. Like the overcoming of the obstacles, but also the potential for the misalignment, where there's not every piece of you pulling in the same direction, or there's not every piece of them pulling in the same direction, or as a unit of being combined together, like I'm seeing here with this Ten of Cups, both of you not pulling in the same direction. That's so weird. I was going to stop there, and then this card, I had to catch it so it doesn't come off on the floor. The Two of Cups, the potential that there is a choice between more than one person, an energy of pulling in two different directions, an energy of being internally conflicted about what is it that I want. And right below that Chariot is the fastest knight in the deck. Knight of Swords is rushing forward and taking some rapid, like decisive action on something. This is similar to the Fool in the sense of this is not the person who comes rushing in super fast and then sits down to think about what do I do, or read the instruction manual to figure out what to do. This is the person who just comes in and does it, and they're out. They don't think about it first. They don't think about it while they're doing it. They don't think about it until it's already done, and now it's too late to think about it. I think that type of an energy, it's very spontaneous and abrupt, and like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like, I didn't think about this first. It just happened. And that leads to the Five of Pentacles. Taurus energy, again, conflict. This is abandonment, being cast aside. This is a breakup. So it's looking like there was a breakup because someone was pulled in two different directions and they took an action that they didn't think about. It's like, I'm still trying to think of the word. It's not necessarily compulsive. It's just like, I didn't think about this at all. I knew what I was supposed to do, and had I thought about it, I wouldn't have done it, but I did. When I clarify the star, Queen of Pentacles, Four of Swords, Four of Cups. Queen of Pentacles is Capricorn energy. This is one half of the equation that builds this Ten of Pentacles that we've been talking about the whole reading here, sitting right beside the Ten of Pentacles. This would be the centerpiece of the home and the family. This would be the person that would represent like the wife, or the person that manages the home and the assets and the resources of the home and the family. This would be like the mother card, the wife card, like the person I'm building my life around. Excuse me. Now my throat is shutting down. My throat chakra is closing off. There's some element here of something needs said and it's not being said. There's some truth that needs to come out that's not being spoken about. Someone's got something that needs said and it's not being said, or on the more negative end of that, someone's lying about something or withholding information that needs to come out, like lying by omission or something. Four of Swords is Libra energy of taking a pause, taking a rest, taking a break. So this could be talking about there's a break in the connection here. There's a break in this, either a marriage. I've got cards here again that would indicate marriage or living together and that type of a heavy duty commitment. But again, it's going back to this Three of Pentacles where there is no actual real teamwork and collaboration. There is no showing up as equals to build this Ten of Pentacles together. This is one person working on that by themselves. And I've got the Queen of Pentacles out here on the table, and the King of Pentacles is nowhere in sight. I don't think I've even seen him in this reading yet. So telling me that you're showing up in a whole different way than your person is. This Four of Swords can indicate a break in the connection, like taking a pause in this connection. I know a lot of people, they'll break up, but they don't want to label it as an official breakup. So they'll say things like, well, we're on a break right now, or we're taking a time out to figure out what to do. And that's kind of what this card's about. It's about taking a time out and choosing to go inside yourself to heal something, especially when I'm clarifying the Star, which is a card about healing and hope. Taking a break to figure out what to do in order to heal this, taking a break to heal something, taking a break to figure out what to do moving forward from here. Again, back to this really slow progress that you kind of get from the Knight of Pentacles here, because in this row I have a Three of Pentacles, a Three of Cups, and then a Four of Swords. So we've got really slow progress happening here again. Four of Cups is the final clarifier for the Star, Cancer energy. This is a card of being emotionally discontent, like not being fully happy with what you have right in front of you. So much so that you're daydreaming about this other cup, this other thing that you believe will lead you to your happiness and your fulfillment. Now notice this person is staring at the Three Cups. The Three Cups are central to your energy right here. So this is either not being happy with the fact that we're not reconciled and we're not reunited yet, or this is staring at and not being happy with the fact that Three Cups of Love have been brought into the picture. So this is either you being distracted by and daydreaming about your person and that cup of love here, this starting back over at the beginning happening with them, and it's not happening fast enough for your taste and you're unhappy about this, or this is you not being happy that there's 3 cups involved and I can't get this other cup that you brought in out of my head. There is this energy of patience, but at the same time, there's also the energy of the Fool sitting next to it. Like, this is not someone who wants to be patient. The Fool is ready to leap right now. So it could be that you're not happy with that either, because you're ready to take the leap in terms of healing this and figuring out how to fix this connection and overcome the obstacles here. But it's not happening. Scoot this over and get us a little bit more room here. That is your energy in this connection, Sagittarius. Let's take a look at your person's energy, because for them we have the 8 of Cups, the Devil, and Justice. The 8 of Cups is Pisces energy. This is an energy of emotional detachment, like emotionally detaching, physically detaching and walking away. The person on the card is walking away from 8 full cups of love because they think there's something better out there for them. So this can represent someone who thinks the grass might be greener on the other side of the fence. They emotionally detach and they're going to go off and see if the grass is indeed greener on the other side of the fence. Tell me about the 8 of Cups, please. Why is the 8 of Cups here? Very interesting. Very. Remember when I said my throat was closing down, and that's my throat chakra shutting off, and that means there's some truth that needs to be spoken, and either someone's not saying it or they're lying about something. We're about to talk about that again here in a second. Bottom of the deck. Man, now I just got a big pain right above my eye. I have the King of Cups on the bottom of the deck. Again, someone who's not wearing their heart on their sleeve. They're not publicly broadcasting how they feel about something. This is someone that has love and emotions. They're just not talking about it here. They're emotionally detached. Have the Magician, which is the Mac Daddy Master Manifester of the Tarot deck. This is someone who's got all the tools and abilities and resources to manifest or create from nothing whatever it is their will desires. He's got all 4 aces on the table in front of him here. So the aces are the ones of the 4 suits. So 1111, the number of manifesting. So this is someone whose thoughts and actions create the world around them. This person has manifested something, and they weren't really talking about what it was. They weren't expressing that. You weren't able to really see what was going on in terms of them manifesting something. 5 of Swords, Aquarius energy. Again, 5s are conflict. This is either a conflict in their thinking, or this is a conflict in communication. In other words, bitter words being spoken, a fight happening, like some sort of a conflict verbally here. Could sometimes represent a physical conflict. This is not a pleasant energy. At its core, this is a mentally or psychologically painful situation or event. It can represent a betrayal of some kind. It can represent someone who has this winning at all cost mentality. In other words, I'm going to get what I want, and if you get hurt in that process, well, tough shit for you, because I'm doing what I want to do, and what happens to you is your problem. It's usually someone who's creating a situation that's not fair because it's all stacked to their advantage, and yeah, tough shit for you. 9 of Wands, Sagittarius energy, being walled off and defensive about something. This is really feeling like your person kept their mouth shut about some stuff. They were manifesting something that they had some emotional attachment to during a time when they were being very emotionally detached from you. Physically walking away from you is what it looks like, because they were much more interested in creating what they wanted and were willing to hurt you in the process. There's the wall coming up, either because they're putting a wall between the two of you and they're trying to protect themselves from getting hurt because of what they're doing, or this is actually just your wall coming up because what they were doing hurt you. When I clarify the Eight of Cups, Queen of Swords, the Moon, Ten of Wands, Eight of Wands. This person, Queen of Swords. This is Libra energy. This is speaking the truth about something. It's also cutting off the things or the people that aren't in your best interest anymore. We got somebody who thinks the grass is greener on the other side. I don't feel like they were speaking the truth. That's what the Queen of Swords, that's why she holds her hand out like that. She's usually a very smart, very fair person that will let you tell your side of the story. Go ahead, speak your truth to me. The problem is she already knows the truth, so the truth you speak to her better match what she already knows to be true, or she cuts you with that sword. This is like the off with your head queen. This feels like there was truth that needed to be spoken here about why they were detaching emotionally, about what they were up to here in terms of what they were manifesting and the betrayal of that, the painful situation of what they were manifesting was causing. But the reason we have the Moon here tied directly to this card about speaking the truth is the Moon represents fear, worry, and anxiety, but it also represents something being hidden in the dark, as in some secret being kept. The truth was being hidden in the dark. It wasn't being spoken. Some secret being kept. And now I'm just realizing I have two separate Queen energies out here. On your side of the table, I've got you showing up as Queen of Pentacles. And on their side of the table, I've got Queen of Swords. So Capricorn, Libra energy here. They both have the way they're laid on the table, they have their backs to each other. These are not connected energies. Some secret being kept here. I've got the Ten of Wands next, Sagittarius energy of a heavy burden being carried here. Now this is a 10, and in tarot, 10s are completions, so this is supposed to be the completion of a heavy burden being carried. In other words, your person getting to the spot where I can lay this burden down and move forward without it. It's looking to me really strongly like they weren't, mum was the word with them. They were manifesting something that was betraying you. They had this mentality of like, I'm going to get what I want, what makes me happy, and I'm going to go see if the grass is greener on the other side of the fence. And yeah, sure, there's truth that needs spoken. There's a severing that needs to happen in this connection, but I'm keeping everything secret here. And now I'm carrying the burdens of having that thing be a secret. Directly across the aisle from that is that emotionally discontent energy where you're probably not happy with the third cup that got brought in. Maybe you can't quit daydreaming about that. Final clarifier for the Eight of Cups is the Eight of Wands. This is Sagittarius energy. This is very fast forward movement on something, very fast forward progress on something there's a lot of passion and desire attached to. This can also represent a lot of energy coming at someone all at one time. It would be like trying to take a drink of water out of a fire hose. It's just too much to process all at once. It's too much all at once, and it becomes very overwhelming. Central to your person's energy is the Devil, Capricorn's major arcana card. This is a heavy toxic energy. This is obsession with something. It's an addiction to something. It's a feeling of being trapped by something that they feel like they can't escape from. It's an energy of control, but it's usually about something controlling a person and not the person being in control of it. So think about like an addiction. Like I smoke cigarettes. I have an addiction to nicotine and tobacco products. Like I don't really decide when I'm going to smoke a cigarette. The cigarettes decide when I'm going to smoke a cigarette. They'll take control of me and I'll start to get, oh, I need a fucking cigarette, you know, and it'll do that. This can be about some sort of a person's internal drives and these deep-seated urges that they have taking control of them. It can be an element of a person's shadow. In other words, like a piece of themselves that they don't like and they don't want you to see it, and they don't even want to see it themselves. Like look at the fool in the cage here. He's buried his face. He doesn't want to face the situation that he's in. And that's the problem with this kind of an energy. Because yes, it does have control over a person, but only the control they willingly give to it by refusing to face it, by not having the courage to face it and address it and deal with it. If he had the courage to uncover his face and take a look around and face this situation for what it is, he'd realize the cage door is wide open and he could just get up and walk out. But this is a type of person that's usually in denial about something, and they don't want to face something because it would require too much courage to do the internal work needed to uncover this stuff and process it and deal with it. And you can see here, this too much to deal with. It's overwhelming. It's a burden that I'm facing, but it's overwhelming and I don't want to face it. I don't want to deal with it. I'd rather keep myself in the dark and rather keep you in the dark than speak the truth on it and face this stuff. But this is some sort of a very being out of control type of an energy here. Tell me about the devil. Why is this here for Sagittarius' romantic person of interest in May 2023? Wow. Bottom of the deck, 5 of Wands again. Leo energy. Again, 5s are conflict. I've seen a lot of 5s in this reading. A lot of conflict in this reading. This is an internal conflict in your person's desires. A piece of them wants one thing and another piece of them wants the opposite of that, and they're internally conflicted about it, playing tug of war inside of what do they want. This devil toxic energy is at the root of that. There's probably a difference between what they actually want and what that toxic piece of them wants. And this is that struggle with that element of themselves. And they ultimately lose that struggle because, boom, like a bat out of hell, they come rushing forward, taking some decisive action that they didn't think through first. They don't think about it until it's too late. And by then it is too late because there's that abandonment. There's the breakup that takes place. Another 5. And it looks like that all stemmed from, like, the Page of Pentacles is news and messages and communications about some practical, physical, real-world opportunity here. A lot of times this will be the beginning stages of planning for the future, planning for some physical thing. Communications about a physical opportunity presenting itself, and then boom, there's this rapid action toward that physical opportunity that leads to a breakup. When I clarify the devil, you played by the rules, Saggy. I normally get 3 cards to clarify. I got 3 cards to clarify every single one of your cards. Your person so far has given me 4 on every one of their cards so far. I got 4 in the mutual energy affecting you both. Again, that's like you're showing up as the 3 like you're supposed to. They're showing up differently than you because they're juggling someone else. They've brought another element into this connection. The card that shows up as the 4th card in the clarifiers for the shared energy is that new cup of love. And this is a person who knew what they were supposed to do but didn't do it. Hence the Tower here, and hence this whole decision about the connection, this whole choice between more than one cup. Clarifying the devil, I get the 10 of Swords, the 7 of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles, Page of Wands. That's twice I've seen a page over here in their energy. Definitely ain't showing up as a king. 10 of Swords, Gemini energy. 10s are endings. They're completions. This is a swift, painful ending to something. Sometimes it's an ending in betrayal, hence the swords in the person's back. They got stabbed in the back. Sometimes this is just an ending that you didn't see coming, hence the swords being in your back and not in your front. They'd be in your front if you saw it coming. No matter how you slice this energy, it is an ending to something brought about by this toxic devil energy here. Again, it's sitting right beside Queen of Swords, which is usually the severing of a connection here. 7 of Pentacles is Taurus energy. This is a period of time where there is this pause to reflect and take stock, of this connection to take stock of this relationship. And what they're doing is taking a look at the seeds that have been planted between the two of you, and they're trying to decide, is this ever going to turn into what I really want or not? Is this worth me continuing to invest my time, effort, and energy in? Or is this a spot where it's not really going to pan out the way I want it to, and maybe I should just cut my losses and move on here? So this represents that period of time where they're thinking about and asking themselves those type of things. It's sitting directly beside the moon, keeping that secret, keeping that hidden from you. And it's looking to me like what they've decided already is to end this. What they've decided already, and they're just not speaking the truth about, and they're keeping it hidden, is that they're going to sever this connection, which is why they started getting emotionally detached from you. They wanted to go see, is the grass greener on the other side? Not really, because that's what they actually really wanted. A piece of them wanted you, but then another piece of them is in much stronger position of control in terms of their desires, and they lost this battle of tug of war in terms of what I want, and to the point that I just, boom, I ran off like a bat out of hell and did it without thinking about it, and ta-da, here we are at the breakup. During this, we also have the Ace of Pentacles, which is a physical, tangible opportunity presenting itself. A physical opportunity presenting itself. And burdened by that physical opportunity. To me, what this physical opportunity is feeling like is with another person. I've got the Ace of Cups here. New beginning in love and emotions. I've got the Ace of Wands as your very first clarifier, a new beginning in passion and desire, and a physical opportunity to do that, and being burdened by that. Now I have the Page of Wands, which is news and messages and communications about passion, about desire. It's sitting directly beside the Eight of Wands, which is rapid back and forth, passionate communication, rapid movement on something there's passion and desire for. This is the minor arcana version of the Fool, which I see over here in the first column of cards for you, feeling like it's describing your person's foolish behavior and their leap and to take risks outside of the connection. This is a toned down version of that energy. This is the person who has the willingness to take the very first steps down a brand new path towards something there's passion and desire for. Passionate communicating, taking the steps down the path toward this physical opportunity that there's passion and desire for. Final card in their energy is Justice, the Libra Major Arcana card. This is the most powerful card of balance in the deck. It's about doing the right, fair, just thing. The fact that it's here is telling me something unbalanced has occurred. Hence the need for justice about that. Something unfair and unjust has occurred. Hence the need to balance it out. They did something that they shouldn't have done. And that is what brought the tower down. And if I had to bet you a donut right now, I would bet you they brought a new cup into this when you guys were together and in a spot where you believed this was your happily ever after. Tell me about Justice, please. Why is the Justice card here as the final card for Sagittarius person of interest? Bottom of the deck, the Magician. Like I said, the Mac Daddy Master Manifester, this is a person whose thoughts and actions create the world around them to be the way they want it to be. This is like a person who made their bed and now they have to lay in it. Their thoughts and their actions created this situation. Their thoughts and their actions led to some unfair, unjust situation happening. King of Cups. We've seen them as the King of Cups repeatedly here. There's love and emotions that they have for you, make no mistake about that, but I don't feel for a second like they're actually fully in control of their thoughts and their actions. Something else deeper has control of that. Now, when I clarify Justice, the High Priestess, the Hanged Man, Nine of Pentacles, Eight of Cups. And again, here we are, 4 cards in every column. They brought someone else in. You're showing up 3 cards in every column. They've got an extra card in every column. The extra card is that other cup. The High Priestess. This represents the unconscious mind. It represents the intuition. She is the source of all intuition and emotions in the whole tarot deck, where her gown flows off the side, turns into a waterfall. All the water in the whole rest of the deck stems from her. She's the source of all that. The High Priestess knows everything. And I'm not sure if I told you this. Very first clarifier here is she who knows the truth. This is just she who knows, period. She knows everything. She sees everything. She sits in front of the veil of consciousness. She's got access to all the information you and I as humans, we don't have access to. Problem with her is she doesn't always tell us everything. Sometimes there's stuff that we're not meant to know as humans. Sometimes there's stuff we don't need to know until it's time. By herself, she can represent that there is something you don't know. There's some secret being kept. I've got the moon. Also can represent there's information you don't have, something you can't see, there's a secret being kept, something being hidden from you. I've got both of them in this person's energy. I have no doubt that they were withholding information from you. That's why my throat started closing off on me over here when I almost was finished with your energy. Like, there's stuff that they were keeping hidden, stuff they weren't talking about, potentially even stuff they were flat ass lying about. This also represents, though, that even though you didn't have all the information, like she doesn't tell us everything outright always, but she does clue us in. When it's time for us to know, she gives us intuitive hits, gut feelings, signs, synchronicities, a dream that has a message in it. She gives you some way to know something that you couldn't possibly know because you didn't see it in the physical world, but you intuitively know it. It's setting right beside the 10 of Swords, the swift, painful ending in betrayal that you didn't see coming. Surrounding that painful ending is she who knows the truth and she who knows. So while you may not have actually had the physical evidence to support what was going on, deep down, you knew what was true. And that could be why I'm seeing the Chariot as your first card, because a piece of you knew that was true and another piece of you didn't want that to be true. It's probably why I saw the 5 of Wands on the bottom of that. I don't want to believe that, because if that stuff is true, then that means this 10 of Cups between us can't be true. Those two things are mutually exclusive. You can't lie to me and cheat on me and hide the fact that you're doing that from me and at the same time have this happily ever after type of a connection. Those things are mutually exclusive. They cannot both be true at the same time, just like it can't be daylight and nighttime at the same time. It can't be up and down at the same time. It can't be left and right at the same time, or man and woman at the same time. Next clarifier for justice is the Hanged Man. This is Pisces energy, again, of progress being halted. There is no forward movement happening. Things are stuck. They're at a dead standstill. It's sitting right beside your person, taking time to contemplate, do I even want to continue on with this or not? Do I continue putting time, effort, and energy into this or not? Or do I cut my losses and move on? And on the other side of that is the Moon, the secret being kept, the things that aren't being shown to you. They're being hidden from you. Next clarifier for justice is the 9 of Pentacles. This is Virgo energy. This is a singles energy. We've seen the 10 of Pentacles over here. I've got the Hierophant over here. Like being in a committed relationship, living together, being married, combining lives together. I've got the Queen of Pentacles over here, one half of the equation that does that. I've got the 3 of Pentacles twice in your energy, the teamwork, collaboration, working together as equals to make all this happen, but you're showing up by yourself in the overall energy. Your person is showing up juggling more than one person. And instead of them, again, still no King of Pentacles anywhere. It's not always just the cards that come out that tell me what's going on. A lot of times it's the cards that don't come out that give me more hints as to what's going on. There ain't no King of Pentacles out here anywhere. You're showing up, but they're not. The way they're showing up is 9 of Pentacles, singles energy. With you or without you, I can do this on my own. I don't need you to physically take care of me. I don't need you to financially take care of me. I'm self-sufficient. I got this all on my own. I don't need you. In fact, I have this other opportunity presenting itself to me. And there's some sort of a burden here for me related to this. A burden about the secret that I'm keeping. A burden about all this passion and desire and the communications that I'm having about that, and this wanting to move forward very fast on it, having the willingness to take the steps very fast on that. I'm showing up physically single. Now, a lot of times, this ain't a person that is physically single. It's a person who's, in fact, in a commitment. But they're presenting themselves in the physical world as if they are single when they're actually not. Final clarifier here, 8 of Cups. This is the very first card in your person's energy. It's showing up as the very last card in your person's energy. If this isn't confirmation of what's going on, I don't know what is. This is Pisces energy of detachment. This is emotionally detaching, physically walking away, leaving what I have to go off down a brand new path to see if the grass is greener on the other side of the fence. I'm leaving this and I'm going off to see if I can find my 9th and my 10th cup somewhere else, my personal happiness and wish fulfillment somewhere else. Wow. I've just noticed this. At the beginning, I remember saying something to the effect of like, well, this is looking good so far because I do have quite a few cups out here already and I haven't seen any swords yet. I get a sword in your last column of cards. I get swords in your person's columns of cards. The Devil. The only cups that I have in your person's energy. Both 8 of Cups. Emotionally detaching. Emotionally detaching from you and physically walking away. I'm not happy with what I have. I think there's something better out there for me. And I'm going to go off and see if I can find it. Now, if you still have questions you want answered about this situation or your relationship, click on any of the videos that just appeared on your screen right now. And when you do, you'll be taken to more Sagittarius love readings that can give you more insight and more clarity about what's really going on in your particular situation. And I'll see you in the next video.